Hello, I'm Russell Roop of Conquest Gaming, and together with Ken Griffin and Kyle Battle, I co-created this game, Warlords of Europe, an epic strategy game of medieval warfare. Last year in 2010, we were nominated for Historical Board Game of the Year for the Origins Award. Alright, now we're going to do a little demo of Warlords of Europe, a little two-player scenario, kind of round 2, maybe round 3 of the game. In Warlords of Europe, the foot soldiers have a range of 1 fief. The mounted knights on horseback have a range of 2 fiefs. And the warlord is the general of your army. He and all the troops with him can move 2 fiefs and attack someplace on the other side. That's a whole lot of troops going up against your little castle there. But that's not going to happen because you're going to get a chance to go first. And why are you going to get a chance to go first? Because you have the Initiative 1 card. And how did you get Initiative 1? At the beginning of this round, we both threw a die, and you rolled higher than me, and you decided that you needed to go first and attack both of these 2 fiefs to stop my massive army from attacking your castle here. The first thing you're going to do is show all of your attack moves. The next thing we do is resolve the battles. We use the traditional red attacking dice. They are 8-sided. If you're defending in the farmlands, which are these, then you're going to be throwing also 8-sided dice. But if you're in the forest, then you're going to be throwing the green 10-sided dice, and if you're in a mountain, you're going to be throwing the gray 12-sided dice. And it's also color-coded for a castle. In a finished castle, all of the troops in it throw 12-sided die. Alright, so back to this attack. You have a spearman, he hits on a 7 or higher. We're going for high numbers with our rolls. And you have a swordsman who hits on a 5 or higher. So go ahead for the spearman, go ahead and roll. And for the swordsman, go ahead and roll. And I will roll for my swordsman, and we'll see what happens. Alright, you scored 2 hits, which you only needed 1, and I also scored a hit. So you're going to take the cheaper unit as a casualty, and we'll just throw him over there. And I have no choice. Your guy has just taken over the Duchy of Saxony. Now over here the dynamic is slightly different because you have an archer. Now in Warlords, the archers from both sides fire and we remove casualties, then everybody else rolls and we remove casualties. So you're going to throw for your archer first, and he hits on a 5 or better, and if my guy lives, I'm going to get to throw the 10-sided die because I am in the forest. So go ahead with your archer, he scored a hit, and this guy dies. Like I said, if you had missed with your archer and scored the hit with one of your other troops, then I would have thrown a 10-sided die for defense for him. But that did not occur, so these guys are all in here. At this point, you would look at your hand of cards. That's one thing that really distinguishes Warlords and gives it a lot of replay value is I've got 3 decks of cards, 30 cards in each deck, and they provide a lot of aha gotcha kind of moments. One of the cards that I have started you with for the demo is called Royal Edict. A peasant fief adjacent to one of your fiefs joins your dominion. You get to place 2 free spearmen. And so you would pick that fief, and now you own the entire kingdom of Germany, and that's going to provide you with 4 free spearmen every turn, and your castle, instead of just producing 6 gold, is going to make 12 gold. You get a gold for every city that you control. And if you own the entire kingdom and your castle is finished, it makes 12 instead of 6. So that's a big bonus to own the entire kingdom. So I'm going to have to try to break that up on my turn. At this point in your turn, you would get a chance to move anybody who hasn't moved yet. So all these guys in the back could fill into the front. If you've conquered at least 1 fief, then you get to draw a conquest card. And now it's my turn, and I would show all of my attacks. The first thing I'm going to do is say, aha, I have a smuggler's card, which is going to let me take up to 6 units through an enemy fief and attack on the other side. So I'm going to choose these 6, and we're going to go ahead and have a castle fight anyway. I'm going to play another card called Order of Calatrava. I'm going to remove one of my knights. So my knight goes off to support the Reconquista, and all of the commoners rally because I am so just and pious. You have a card that looks interesting called Boiling Oil, and now would be a great time to play it. You have Boiling Oil. Try to kill some of my troops. When your castle is attacked, roll a d10 and divide by 2, round up. 1 divided by 2, round up, is only 1 guy before the battle started. The next thing I'm going to do is lay siege to your castle. That lowers a castle or a mountain's defense terrain dice to d10s for a battle. So normally you'd be throwing 12-sided dice for all your guys in there. Now you're going to be throwing 10s instead. But you have a card that will counteract that. Entrenchment. When defending, increase your terrain dice by 1 level for 1 battle. So now you're back up to throwing 12-sided dice for all the guys that are in there. And you have one more good card to play called Mercenary Archers. And that's going to give you 2 free archers that are going to join your castle defense on any one of your fiefs. So we use the tan guys as mercenaries, and they'll join your castle defense. And now we would roll. And I have the attacking dice, and you're going to be throwing the 12-sided dice. And since we're throwing a lot of dice, we use the dice tower sold separately. Archers from both sides fire. I have 1 archer. Archers attacking castles suffer a penalty. They normally hit on a 5, but instead they're shooting uphill and they hit on a 6. Your archers defending a castle have a bonus. They're up behind the turrets shooting down, and they get a bonus. They hit on 4s. So my guy going for 6s, I missed. And you've got 2 archers who are going for 4s, and that's 2 hits. And I did not. And now I'll go ahead and roll. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spearmen, and 1 of them hit. And I've got a warlord and 2 swordsmen. So that's 3 guys who all hit on 5s. I'll throw them together. And 1 of them hit. So I hit a total of 2 of your guys. They are going to get a chance to defend themselves because combat is simultaneous. So you've got 1, 2, 3 spearmen hitting 7s or better. And that looks like nothing. And you've got 2 guys who hit at 5 or better. That's the warlord and the swordsman. So 2 dice looking for 5. All right, so you got 1 hit. Normally I would have a chance to retreat, but because I use the sneaky card to get through, I don't have any adjacent fiefs that belong to me. So I'm going to press the attack. You've got your 2 archers. Let's see what they do. 1 miss, 1 hit. I'm going to pull my archer this time and give my other units a chance to hit. So I've got 7 for a spearman. He missed. And I've got my 5s. I hit with all 3 of my 5s. So you're definitely going to pull your 2 cheap ones. And your archers are great, so you'll probably pull him as well. But you do get a chance to roll with him, so you're looking for... So this is what it looks like. 2 archers and a warlord versus a warlord. I'm sure you're going to win because you've got 2 archers and I don't. Go ahead and roll for your archers. And when a warlord falls in battle, he does not go back to the supply like everybody else. He is captured and taken to the dungeon of any of your castles. Now, we can negotiate some release terms. That usually does not happen in a 2-player game. But in a 3 or 4-player game, it often does happen. Maybe I have your warlord, you have mine, we can trade. Maybe you don't attack me this round, I'll give you your warlord back, that sort of thing. If I ever conquer this castle, then I do get my warlord back. If somebody else conquers that castle, then I have to negotiate with that person. I'm not allowed to buy new warlords as long as any of mine are captured. So at this point I failed to break up your kingdom, but I do have one more card to play, and that is Papal Decree. Take over an adjacent enemy non-castle fief occupied by 1 troop who is not a warlord and put 1 of mine in there. And that way I break up Germany, so you won't get your 4 free spearmen and you won't get 12 gold from this castle, but only 6 gold. If I had conquered that castle, then it would become damaged. I would get a big bonus from the bank. I'd get a free conquest card. I would get 15 gold and the opportunity to spend it immediately. When you build a castle, it gets the construction token and it costs 6 gold. On a subsequent turn, you can finish it for 6 gold. Finished castles are the victory condition of the game. You have to control a majority of the finished castles during the victory check phase. And right now we are entering the group phase where everybody gets a free Pope card, and we would then tax. Every city creates 1 gold for us, plus the castle bonuses that I talked about before. We would get the chance to spend our gold on new troops, that's mustering armies. We get a chance to deploy our armies, and then we would roll for initiative again, and then get a chance to buy a merchant card. And then we would go once again into the individual turns. And that pretty much is Warlords of Europe in a nutshell. Thanks for watching the Warlords of Europe demo. Warlords can be purchased at game stores everywhere, or online you can visit us at conquestgaming.com.